With your group, you will answer the questions to evaluate the information in Having a Secure Job Replaces Homeownership as the Key to Being Middle Class, 5 Facts About Millennial Households, Minorities, Immigrants, and Homeownership, and More U.S. Households Are Renting Than at Any Point in the Past 50 Years. The questions that you will be answering are: what is the overall focus area of the article, and how does it relate to the topic of homeownership in the United States? What is the research methodology and/or data source for the article? How reliable does it make the data that it presents? You will support your response with evidence from the text. As you're answering these questions, I want you to think about the following. What does this article say about homeownership? Is this article reliable? What are the main points this author is trying to make? Is the idea of homeownership attainable for all Americans? You will have 15 minutes to answer this question about each of the articles in your reading response journal. Now with your group, you're going to answer the questions about the same 4 articles in your reading response journal. What are 3 to 5 key findings presented in the article? What data supports each of these findings? In light of the information presented in your article, what claim might you make in response to the overall question? What do recent trends in society and homeownership suggest about the viability of the dream for all Americans? You will write your response in your reading response journal, and you will support your response with evidence from the text. You will have 10 minutes to complete this activity. Now you will review the 4 articles and evaluate the information in the text. You will answer the question on the board in your reading response journal. You will locate the author's thesis statement. What is the author's position on this issue? You will highlight or mark and number each supporting claim. You will also locate the evidence that supports each claim and number it with the corresponding claim number. You will need to do all of this in your reading response journal. You will have 10 minutes to complete this activity. Also, in your reading response journal, you will summarize the author's reasoning by identifying the connections among the thesis statement, supporting claims, and evidence. Then you will answer the question in your reading response journal. How effective is the author's argument, and why? As you complete this activity, I want you to think about the following. What stands out about how the author seems to view the topic? Why might the author view the topic in this way? How might his or her experiences and beliefs influence the perspective of the text? How do the author's language choices indicate his or her perspective? How might the author's perspective compare to other perspectives on the topic? How might the author's perspective compare to your own? To what extent do you agree or disagree with the author and the text's ideas. What does the author of the text leave uncertain or unstated? Why? You will have 5 minutes to complete this activity in your reading response journal. You're going to compare and connect ideas across the text that we read in this lesson by writing your response to the text-specific question in your reading response journal. You will need to support your response with evidence from the text. Then, in Nearpod, you will type your response. The question is, what does the data say about how attainable this dream is for all Americans? As you answer this question, I want you to think about the following. What data is presented in this article? And does it support the idea that homeownership can be obtained by an American, by all Americans? You will have 5 minutes to write your response in your reading response journal, and then after 5 minutes, you will have 5 minutes to type it in Nearpod. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and close out this lesson. Congratulations! You have finished Section 1, Lesson 5 of the Homeownership Unit. In this lesson, you explained the problems facing the dream of homeownership for all Americans and found key claims and assessed their reliability.